Have you ever found yourself gripping the edge of a countertop or clutching a doorframe, heart pounding as you teeter just long enough to wonder, what if I had fallen? In my decades as a physician, I've seen how these fleeting moments can become permanent fears, an invisible weight that steals your freedom, your confidence, and your independence. You're not alone. Every year, 1 in 4 adults over 65 experiences a fall, and for older women, the risk is even higher. But here's the truth that rarely gets shared. Falling is not an inevitable part of aging. It's often the result of silent habits and hidden mistakes we can absolutely fix. My name is Dr. Evelyn Taylor, and in this video, I'm here to be your guide, your advocate, and your reminder that your health and independence are worth fighting for. Together, we're going to explore the 8 most common mistakes that quietly erode your balance, mistakes that can and should be reversed. This isn't about adding yet another burden to your daily routine or making you feel overwhelmed. It's about reclaiming your power with simple, proven changes that make a massive difference. It's about shifting the narrative that says aging must equal fragility and showing you how to stand strong, physically and emotionally, for years to come. I want you to stay with me until the very end of this video because the final mistake we'll cover is the one I see most often in my practice, yet it's the easiest to overlook. By the time we're done, you'll have a toolkit of strategies you can start using today. No fancy equipment, no complicated workouts, just clear, actionable steps to feel steady on your feet and sure of yourself again. Before we dive in, if you find this topic as important as I do, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with friends or family who might need this information. Your support helps us reach even more people, turning small lessons into powerful lifelines that can save someone from a devastating fall. Are you ready? Let's begin this journey together and put an end to the myth that aging automatically means losing your balance. Let's prove that strength and stability are within your reach, no matter your age. Mistake number 1, wearing inappropriate footwear. When most people think about balance, they immediately picture exercises or maybe a few stretching routines. Rarely does anyone consider the very foundation that keeps us steady with every step, our shoes. But let me tell you, after years in the clinic treating countless seniors for slips and falls, I can say with absolute certainty that what's on your feet can make or break your stability. I've seen it too many times, older women clinging to the same shoes they've worn for years, convinced they're comfortable enough or still in good shape. I once treated a woman named Linda, who insisted her beloved ballet flats were perfectly fine. They had no arch support, no grip, and the sole was as thin as paper. One morning, Linda was rushing to answer the door when she stepped onto her smooth kitchen floor. Her foot flew out from under her, and she ended up in the emergency room with a fractured wrist. The truth is, as we age, our feet change just as much as the rest of our bodies. The natural padding in our soles starts to thin, arches begin to flatten, and our ankles and calves lose some of the strength and flexibility they once had. Shoes that worked fine in your 40s or 50s might now be silent saboteurs, quietly undermining your stability. So what should the right shoes look like? Let's break it down. First, focus on the sole. It should be firm, with a reliable non-slip tread that grips the ground instead of skating over it. Those old smooth-bottomed shoes that glide across tile like ice skates? They're an accident waiting to happen. Next, think about structure. Your shoe should gently cradle your foot, offering arch support, ankle stability, and a snug fit that doesn't pinch or slide around. Look for cushioned insoles, memory foam if possible, and a secure heel cup that keeps your foot centered and steady. I know what you might be thinking. You don't want to feel like you're wearing clunky orthopedic shoes. You want to look and feel good. I hear this concern all the time in my practice, and I promise you, you're not alone. The good news is that modern footwear designers understand this struggle. Today, you can find shoes that are supportive and still stylish, so you don't have to choose between safety and feeling confident about how you look. And let's not forget about the slippers we love so much. Those cozy slip-ons can be some of the worst offenders. Their soft, floppy soles offer zero protection. I remember a patient who slipped while carrying laundry simply because her slippers had no grip at all. She ended up with a bruised hip that took months to fully heal. It was a powerful lesson for her and for me as a doctor. Every step matters. If you're over 60, I want you to think of your shoes not as an accessory, but as essential safety gear, like a seatbelt or a handrail. The right pair can be the difference between a confident stride and a sudden trip to the emergency room. So here's what I tell my patients. Take inventory of your footwear today. Check every pair you wear regularly. Test the grip by sliding the sole across a hard floor. Feel the cushioning and the support. And don't be afraid to let go of those favorites that just aren't safe anymore. Replacing them with well-designed, supportive footwear is an investment in your independence, your mobility, and your peace of mind. Because when it comes to balance, every step you take begins at the ground level. And you deserve to feel secure and steady with each one. Mistake number 2, neglecting strength training. Let's talk about something that too often slips under the radar: strength training. Many people think it's only for bodybuilders in crowded gyms, the kind of activity that involves heavy weights, sweaty grunts, and intimidating workout equipment. But here's the truth. Strength training is absolutely essential for everyone, especially as we grow older. I've spent decades helping older women reclaim their balance and confidence, and I can't count how many times I've seen frailty creep in simply because of lost muscle strength. As we age, our bodies naturally lose muscle mass, starting as early as our 30s. By the time we hit our 60s and 70s, those tiny losses add up to a significant drop in stability and coordination. And let's be honest, we feel it. Standing up from a chair becomes harder, carrying groceries leaves us winded, and even a gentle slope in the sidewalk can start to feel like a mountain. One of my patients, Margaret, was in her late 60s when she first came to see me. She told me she was constantly afraid of falling, but didn't think strength training was for her. She said, "I don't want to look like a weightlifter, doctor. I just want to stop feeling so wobbly." So we started simple. No gym. No intimidating machines. Just small, intentional movements in her living room. Light arm curls with water bottles, slow squats using the back of a chair for balance, and gentle leg lifts while she watched her favorite afternoon show. Within weeks, Margaret noticed she could stand up from the sofa more easily. She was carrying groceries without wincing and even felt more confident climbing the steps to her front porch. That transformation was more than just physical. It was emotional. She told me, "For the first time in years, I feel like my body is on my side again." That's the quiet power of strength training. You don't need to aim for sculpted biceps or six-pack abs. It's about reclaiming your ability to move freely and without fear. Studies consistently show that just 2 or 3 short sessions a week can slow, stop, and even reverse age-related muscle loss. And best of all, you can do it at home, in your pajamas if you like, with nothing but a couple of soup cans or light hand weights. If you're thinking, "But I already walk around a lot," let me tell you this: walking is great for your heart and your overall mobility, but it doesn't target the muscles in your legs, hips, and core in the same way. Those muscles are the key to catching yourself if you stumble, to stabilizing your body as you climb stairs, and to simply standing up from your favorite chair without that telltale hand push. I often tell my patients that strength is more than muscle. It's a mindset. When you feel stronger, you stand taller. You move with more confidence. You start to trust your body again. And that trust is the foundation of independence, of being able to do the things you love without that constant worry lurking in the background. So here's my gentle prescription for you today. Start small, but start now. Find a 10-minute strength routine online, or make a habit of doing some gentle squats while you brush your teeth. Maybe keep a light set of hand weights by the couch and lift them during commercials. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Because every bit of muscle you rebuild is like a safety net, catching you before you fall. If you've been neglecting strength training, please know this: it's never too late to start. Your body is ready to respond, and your spirit is ready to rise. Reclaim your strength, and you'll reclaim so much more: your balance, your independence, and your confidence to live life fully at any age. Mistake number 3, ignoring vision changes. When we think about balance, most of us picture strong legs and steady feet. Rarely do we consider the power of our eyes. Yet vision is one of the most important tools in keeping us upright and safe. I've seen countless older women who have spent years nurturing their families, their homes, and their communities, but somewhere along the way, they forgot to nurture their own eyes. It's an easy oversight because vision changes happen so slowly, creeping in almost without notice. One day, you're reading comfortably in the evening light, and the next, you're squinting, unsure of your footing as you head to the bathroom at night. Let me tell you about Ruth, a woman I met a few years back. She was 72 and had always prided herself on her independence. She didn't think much of her vision, even though she had to squint a little more at the morning paper. One winter night, Ruth woke up to use the bathroom, not wanting to wake her husband with a bright light. As she tiptoed down the hallway, she missed the edge of her favorite rug, a rug she'd crossed 1,000 times. She fell hard, and the shock of it left her not just with a bruised hip, but with a shaken confidence that took months to rebuild. The truth is, our vision is a key partner in every step we take. It helps us judge distances, see obstacles in low light, and navigate tricky corners. As we age, even small changes in how we see can turn a safe home into a hidden minefield. Maybe your prescription hasn't been updated in years, or you've put off an eye exam because everything seemed good enough. Maybe those scratches on your glasses, or that yellowing of your lenses don't seem like a big deal. But these tiny changes blur the world just enough to throw your balance off. Here's the hopeful news. Vision can be refreshed and renewed. A visit to the eye doctor isn't just for reading charts. It's an act of self-care that pays off in every step you take. Ruth learned that lesson. After her fall, she got new glasses with an anti-glare coating and lenses that brightened the world around her, especially in dim light. She told me she felt like someone had turned the lights on in her life. Suddenly, she wasn't hesitating at thresholds or shuffling cautiously across the kitchen floor. She walked with more assurance because she could finally see what she was walking on. But it's not only about prescription lenses. I always remind my patients to think about their homes, too. Dark corners and dim hallways can turn into real dangers, especially at night when your eyes struggle the most. Installing a few nightlights, brightening those shadowy hallways, and even swapping out old light bulbs for warm, bright LEDs can make an enormous difference. Clean your lenses regularly, too. It might sound obvious, but I can't count how many people come into my office with smudged or scratched glasses, their world forever slightly blurry. These small acts, cleaning your glasses, updating your prescription, adding a gentle glow of light where you need it most, are like giving your body an extra layer of balance and protection. Vision changes are not something to fear or ignore. They're a part of life's natural rhythm, and the sooner you address them, the more confidently you can move through your days. I tell my patients all the time, don't let old habits or a misplaced sense of pride keep you from seeing clearly. Your eyes deserve the same care you give your heart and your bones. And when you can see the path ahead, you'll find yourself standing taller, moving more freely, and living more fully, every single day. Mistake number 4. Overlooking medication side effects. We often trust that the pills in our medicine cabinet are there to help, to heal, and to keep us safe. And most of the time, they do exactly that. But here's a truth I've learned in my years as a doctor. Sometimes those same medications can quietly, almost invisibly, steal your balance right out from under you. Many of my patients never thought to connect their morning dizziness or their shaky steps with the very medicines they'd been prescribed to protect their health. But your body changes as you age, how it processes medication, how quickly it absorbs it, how sensitive it becomes to even a small dose. What used to work perfectly well at 50 might overwhelm you at 70. I remember one woman in particular. Helen was 68 and had always been so careful about taking her blood pressure medication exactly as prescribed. She never missed a dose. But not long after her doctor increased her dosage, Helen started noticing that when she stood up too quickly, the room would spin just enough to make her reach out for the wall. She brushed it off at first, just a busy day, she told herself, or maybe she hadn't had enough to eat. Then one afternoon, as she carried a basket of laundry, she lost her balance and fell hard, bruising her hip and rattling her confidence. When she told me about it, I looked at her list of medications, and there it was, right in the fine print. May cause dizziness, may affect balance. Together, we worked with her doctor to adjust her dosage, and within days, she was back to moving with more confidence, her fear of falling replaced by a sense of control she hadn't felt in months. The lesson here is so important. You are the expert on your own body. No one else knows how you feel when you first wake up or when you move through your daily routines. If you're feeling off balance or unusually tired, don't shrug it off as just getting older. Those symptoms might be your body's way of telling you something important. I always tell my patients to keep a simple log of every medication, vitamin, or herbal supplement they take. It's one of the most powerful tools you can have in protecting yourself. Bring that list to every doctor's appointment, and don't be afraid to speak up. If you're feeling dizzy, lightheaded, or unsteady, say so. Insist on clarity and honesty. Your doctor wants to know, because the best treatment in the world isn't helpful if it puts you at risk of falling. It's not just prescription medications either. Over-the-counter pills for allergies or sleep aids can also make you feel groggy or off-kilter. Even something as innocent as a cold medicine can throw your balance off in ways you might not expect. The key is to treat your medication as an active partnership. You're not just a patient, You're a partner in your own care. Your observations, your instincts, and your willingness to question can be the difference between feeling fragile and feeling strong. So here's my message to you today. If you've been feeling a little unsteady and can't quite put your finger on why, take a close look at what you're putting into your body. Bring it up with your healthcare provider, and don't stop until you get answers that make you feel safe and supported. Because your balance is not just about your feet or your muscles. It's about everything working together, including the medicines you take every single day. You deserve to feel steady, confident, and sure of yourself every step of the way. Mistake number 5, relying on furniture for support. We've all done it at some point, grabbing the back of a chair, sliding a hand along the countertop, or leaning ever so slightly against a table as we move through the house. It seems harmless, doesn't it? A natural way to steady ourselves when we feel a little wobbly. But as a doctor who's spent decades working with older women, I can tell you that what we often call furniture walking is one of the most dangerous habits we can fall into. Let me tell you about a patient of mine, Joan. At 72, Joan had always been fiercely independent. She prided herself on doing everything herself, from gardening to cooking to chasing after her grandkids. But she'd started to notice her legs felt a bit weaker, her balance a bit shakier. Instead of facing those changes head-on, she relied on the furniture around her, clutching door frames, steadying herself on the kitchen counter, using the backs of chairs as makeshift canes. For a while it seemed to work. But then one day, as she was carrying a tray of tea for her afternoon guests, she leaned just a little too hard on the edge of the dining room table. The table wobbled, her feet slipped, and in a blink she was on the floor. Thankfully, Joan wasn't seriously injured, but her confidence was shattered. She told me later, "I didn't realize how much I'd been depending on everything around me to feel safe." That's the real danger of furniture walking. It tricks us into thinking we're fine, that we're in control. But the reality is furniture was never meant to support our weight. It's not secured, it can shift, and it can fail us at exactly the wrong moment. And beyond the physical danger, there's an emotional cost. Relying on furniture can feel like a small act of defeat, like we're quietly telling ourselves we're not strong enough to stand on our own. Here's what I want you to remember. Admitting you need a little extra help isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. If you find yourself constantly reaching for nearby tables and walls, consider using a properly fitted cane or walker. These aren't symbols of aging, they're tools of independence. Unlike an unsteady chair or a flimsy table, a cane or walker is designed to give you reliable, stable support. It moves with you, not against you. It becomes an extension of your own strength. One of my patients, Lillian, once told me that getting her first cane felt like admitting defeat. But within a week, she said it changed her life. She stopped hesitating at the top of the stairs. She stopped worrying about whether she could get up from the couch without bracing against the coffee table. Instead of feeling fragile, she felt secure. She told me, "I thought it would make me feel old, but it made me feel free." So here's my invitation to you. Take a moment to really notice how you move around your home. Are you holding on to furniture out of habit? Are you leaning because you don't trust your balance? If so, it might be time to consider a cane or walker to turn those quiet fears into bold confidence. Remember, relying on furniture is like relying on luck. A cane or walker is a promise to yourself that you deserve to move through the world with dignity and assurance. You deserve to feel secure in every step you take, whether that's in your own living room or out in the world. Let's trade those wobbly chairs for something solid, something that says, "I'm still strong, I'm still here, and I'm not done yet." Mistake number 6, skipping balance exercises. When we think about staying healthy as we age, most of us imagine brisk walks around the block, lifting small weights at home, or perhaps a gentle stretch in the morning. But one thing I see so often forgotten is balance training. Those simple yet powerful exercises that keep us steady and sure-footed, even as the years pass. Let me tell you about my patient, Eleanor. At 70, Eleanor was always active, always moving. She took pride in her daily walks and the way she still did her own gardening. But despite all that activity, she found herself hesitating at curbs, second-guessing her steps on uneven ground, and feeling that slight wave of dizziness when she stood up too quickly. It wasn't weakness in her legs, she was strong. But she had never once done a single balance exercise. Balance, as I often tell my patients, is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it fades. And unlike many other things in life, it doesn't fade overnight. It fades slowly, quietly, until one day you realize it's no longer there when you need it most. Eleanor's turning point came one afternoon when she nearly lost her footing while reaching up for a glass in the kitchen. That brief scare was enough to bring her to my office, determined to figure out what was happening. We talked about how, as we age, our bodies become less responsive to small changes in movement. The reflexes that once caught us when we stumbled can slow down. But the beauty of balance is that it can be retrained, no matter your age. So we began gently. Eleanor started practicing standing on one foot for just 10 seconds at a time while she brushed her teeth. She'd walk heel to toe down the hallway, feeling each shift of weight with a new sense of purpose. We found short videos online that guided her through simple movements, shifting her weight from side to side, rolling gently from heel to toe, even just turning her head slowly while standing still to teach her brain how to keep her steady. Within weeks, Eleanor felt a difference. She told me, "I feel like my feet are talking to my brain again." She stopped hesitating at doorways. She no longer paused in fear when she walked down the uneven path to her garden. Balance training hadn't just strengthened her body, it had renewed her confidence. The best part? These exercises don't require any special equipment or expensive gym memberships. You can do them in your living room, your kitchen, or your backyard. Just 5 to 10 minutes a few days a week can bring back that quiet assurance in every step. I want you to know that skipping balance exercises isn't a harmless oversight. It's an open door to falls and injuries that can steal away your independence in an instant. But here's the incredible truth: balance is within your reach. It's never too late to start. And the freedom you'll feel, moving through your life without fear, without hesitation, is worth every small effort. So take a moment today. Stand near a chair for support if you need it, and just shift your weight from side to side. Try standing on one foot for a few seconds. Find a safe spot to practice turning slowly in place. These small, steady steps are the foundation of confidence that will carry you safely wherever you want to go. Your balance is a gift, one you can rebuild with every breath, every gentle sway, every determined step. Let's reclaim it together, because you deserve to live your life with steadiness, strength, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing your body is ready for whatever lies ahead. Mistake number 7, inadequate hydration. Of all the factors that quietly undermine our balance, this one might surprise you the most: not drinking enough water. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? But in my decades as a physician, I've seen firsthand how dehydration can turn an otherwise healthy day into a dangerous one. Think of your body as a finely tuned engine. Water keeps that engine running smoothly, lubricating joints, helping muscles respond quickly, and even supporting the brain's ability to sense where you are in space. But as we age, the sense of thirst, our natural alarm bell, fades. We're less likely to feel that dry mouth or that deep-down craving for a glass of water. And so, without even realizing it, we start to run dry. Let me share a story that illustrates this perfectly. I remember a woman named June, in her early 70s, who came to me after experiencing several near falls in her garden. She had always been active and careful, so she was confused about why she felt so dizzy every time she stood up. After some gentle questions, she admitted that she only drank coffee in the morning and tea in the afternoon, with hardly any water in between. June had no idea that coffee and tea, while comforting, can actually contribute to dehydration rather than prevent it. Once we added more water to her routine, just 6 to 8 cups a day, she noticed an incredible change. No more dizziness when she rose from her chair. No more wobbles on the garden path. It was as if she'd been walking in a fog that finally lifted. Here's why this matters so deeply. Dehydration thickens your blood and makes your heart work harder, and it also directly affects your inner ear's ability to help you balance. Even a small drop in hydration can leave you feeling lightheaded, off-kilter, and vulnerable to a fall that could have been easily avoided. I want you to imagine how simple it is to take control of this mistake. A glass of water within reach. A refillable bottle on the kitchen counter or the bedside table. Maybe even a gentle reminder on your phone to pause and sip throughout the day. And if plain water feels dull, add a splash of lemon, a few slices of cucumber, or even some fresh herbs like mint. If herbal teas are your preference, choose those without caffeine to nourish your body instead of draining it further. Soups, broths, and water-rich foods like watermelon or cucumber can also help keep you hydrated. I know that for some, remembering to drink enough water can feel like yet another task in a long list of daily duties. But it's a small act of care that pays off in enormous ways. It's a daily promise to your body that you're not just going through the motions. You're protecting your ability to move freely, to stand tall, and to face each new day with the confidence you deserve. So today, I invite you to pause and ask yourself, have I had enough water? Am I giving my body what it needs to stay balanced, steady, and strong? Because something as simple as a glass of water can be the difference between a stumble and a steady stride, between fear and freedom. Your balance doesn't just come from your feet. It comes from every cell in your body working in harmony. And when you nourish that harmony with water, you're not just quenching a thirst. You're protecting your independence, your confidence, and your beautiful, unstoppable spirit. Mistake number 8, unsafe home environment. There's a quiet danger that often goes unnoticed, lurking right under our noses. The hidden hazards in our own homes. We spend years, even decades, creating spaces that feel warm and welcoming, places filled with memories and comfort. But over time, the same home that once felt like a haven can quietly turn into a minefield for falls and injuries. I can't tell you how many times I've sat with patients who described a familiar story. A slip on a well-loved rug, a stumble over a dimly lit step, a sudden jolt of panic when a cluttered hallway offered no place to grab for support. These are the moments that leave bruises on both body and spirit, the small accidents that shake our confidence and make us question our independence. One patient, Alice, shared how she'd always been proud of her cozy home. The throw rugs that added a pop of color to the living room, the low coffee table covered in magazines, the soft lighting that felt so inviting in the evenings. But after a fall in the hallway that left her shaken and sore, she came to me determined to make changes. We walked through her home together, and I asked her to see it not as it was, but as if she were visiting for the first time. Suddenly, those beloved rugs seemed like tripping hazards, the coffee table a low obstacle waiting to catch an unsteady foot, and the cozy lamplight a source of deep shadows that could play tricks on aging eyes. Alice took those observations to heart. She replaced the throw rugs with sturdy, non-slip mats and installed grab bars in the bathroom and beside her favorite reading chair. She swapped out old light bulbs for bright, warm LEDs that banished the gloom from her hallways. She even rearranged her kitchen so that the items she used most were within easy reach, saving her from awkward bending and stretching. The transformation wasn't dramatic, it was thoughtful and loving. And the result? Alice told me she felt like she could breathe again in her own home, no longer tiptoeing around the furniture or worrying about a simple misstep turning into a trip to the emergency room. Here's what I want you to know. Your home should be your sanctuary, not a source of hidden dangers. Small changes can make a world of difference. Take a few minutes today to really look at your space with fresh eyes. Are there cords stretched across the floor that could trip you in a sleepy moment? Rugs that curl at the corners? Dim hallways or staircases that need a little more light? These are not just minor annoyances, they're invitations for accidents. Consider this your personal checklist. Remove those slippery rugs, tape down loose cords, and install grab bars where you need them most. Add motion sensor nightlights to your hallway and bathroom. Move your frequently used items to waist height so you're not straining your back or reaching too far. And don't hesitate to ask for help. Sometimes an outside perspective can spot what's become invisible to your own eyes. These small acts of care aren't about babying yourself, they're about protecting your independence. They're about ensuring that you can keep moving through life with confidence, without second-guessing every step. Because every corner of your home should support your freedom, not threaten it. When you take the time to make your home a safer place, you're sending a powerful message to yourself and to those who love you, that you value your well-being, your strength, and your future. You're saying, I'm here and I'm not done yet. And that's a message worth sending, every single day. As we've walked through these 8 common mistakes today, I hope you've seen just how much power you truly hold. How small changes can add up to a life lived with more safety, more freedom, and more confidence. Because here's what I know, after decades of caring for older women like you. Aging isn't about surrendering to decline, it's about adapting with grace and strength. I want you to remember this. Balance isn't just about muscles or bones. It's about every part of you working together. Your feet in the right shoes, your legs strong and steady, your eyes sharp and clear, your mind focused and calm. It's about having a home that supports you, medications that work for you, and the water that keeps every cell in your body working as it should. Most of all, it's about believing, truly believing, that you're not just getting older, you're still growing, still capable, still worthy of a life filled with movement and joy. Maybe as you listened, you found yourself nodding along, realizing that some of these mistakes are ones you've been making too. If that's you, I want you to hear this loud and clear. it's never too late to start. Every day is a chance to take one small step. Whether it's swapping out a pair of shoes, adding a few minutes of balance exercises to your morning, or just drinking another glass of water. These aren't dramatic overhauls, they're gentle, loving ways of taking care of yourself, of showing respect for the incredible body that's carried you this far. I think of my patient Ruth, who once told me, "I thought I'd have to give up dancing forever. But after I started working on my balance, I realized I don't have to stop living, I just have to move differently." And she was right. It's not about giving up, it's about adapting, about finding new ways to stay upright and keep moving forward. So here's my gentle call to action for you. Take what you've learned today and choose one thing, just one, to change this week. Replace a pair of unsafe slippers. Do those simple leg lifts during your favorite TV show. Check your home for those hidden hazards. And if you're willing, share what you're doing in the comments below. Let's inspire each other to take these small steps together, because community and connection are some of the most powerful forms of balance we have. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Every time you do, you help me reach another person who might need this reminder, someone who's been too afraid to ask or too overwhelmed to start. Together, we can make sure no one has to face these challenges alone. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope you walk away from this video feeling not just informed, but empowered, because you are. You are strong. You are capable. And you are absolutely worth the effort it takes to keep moving with confidence, no matter your age. Until next time, stay safe, stay steady, and never stop believing in your own strength.